How are you two doing right now? Because look, I was in the room last night. I imagine it's one thing to, of course, win the Amazing Race. It's probably another to re-experiencing it, what, a year and a half later, surrounded by people that you love, getting to watch it from a third person's perspective. What was it like rewatching it all last night?
So first of all, like we were super happy to have
Yeah,
pretty much all, like a lot of the
a
cast over
lot.
there.
Yeah.
We miss BC and Sunny. Like I hope
Yeah,
they're
it
doing
was
well.
really
It
great to
was
have the
really
full
fun.
cast there and like the support. And then like we had family and friends there. We kept everyone in the dark. Like
Everyone,
everyone,
nobody knew,
no one knew
nobody knew.
anything. So like we didn't realize we were going to be holding it for this long, but it just was so great to like experience it and see their reaction and just like,
And with
oh,
this, with the editing, like, and what happened on the like penultimate leg, like
yeah,
it was just like we were just crying the whole time, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah, and on top of that is like as you mentioned, we've been waiting for a year and a half. We have developed these relationships with all our cast, and then now we get to see them race for the first time.
yeah,
So like it was just like getting to know them again, like getting to know a little bit of the experience, their strategies, how they race. So that was just like really fun
yeah,
as
that was also
well.
great.
Well, let's rewind prior to even a year and a half ago, because of course we heard on the show, Cesar, this has been a long time dream for you. But let's talk about how that dream ended up happening. What's your history with the show? When did you decide to apply? Was Ricky always in the conversation for partner?
So I've been watching for many years, like a lot long seasons. I remember watching Oswald and Danny, and like just being like, oh my god, great representation. Then like went back to season one, and then it's been always like the Amazing Grace has always been great at representation of everyone.
Hmm.
And seeing gay couples there, like it was something that if I were to talk to my little Cesar self, like I would have never believed that this dream was going to happen. So I recorded videos before, like with one of my best friends. I had told my cousin whenever she turned 18, we would apply together. But there was always in the back of my mind oh, I'm not on my best shape. Like I'm not super fit. So then,
Yeah, like waiting for the right moment.
exactly. And
Mm.
we have talked about it. So now COVID happened and we start watching more. And like
Yeah.
now I get Ricky super
Then
involved
I
on
like
it.
super. I knew the show, but
Right.
I got like super
And
hooked.
then we're talking about a traveling show and like all these restrictions. Thankfully, the show keeps happening. But I was like, what if something happens? Like we try to live by no regrets.
Mm.
So I was like, Ricky, we need to apply. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We might not be on our best shape. Like we're gonna start training
just
the
go.
moment that. So we submitted our video, and the following day we started training. And it just happened to happen that we get our call the following day. And yeah, just
Wow.
like
Yeah,
that. It
it
was
was
so
so
fast.
fast. Yeah.
But we were just like physically training, mentally training. I mean,
Yeah, it was like nonstop. We were just like, we'd come home, we'd have puzzles set up for each other. We were like running with backpacks. We looked like lunatics running outside. Like
I was
our
doing a
neighbors
lot
were
of the
like, what's
steps,
going
yeah,
on? Like,
but
yeah,
we needed to put the work because we knew that this was a one in a lifetime
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah. And we didn't want to like miss the chance
Yeah.
of like self-doubting ourselves. Just
Well,
like
let me
jump in.
backtrack over there. Might
Please.
not be a one in a lifetime opportunity. We're hoping for an all-stars, all winners,
Oh, yeah.
Oh
something.
yeah,
We're ready.
listen, you guys are the second, New York winning team in a row to come onto an interview with me and be like, yeah, we'll come back for all winners. And listen, we'll
Yeah,
get into like this unprecedented dominance. I think there certainly is a case to be made of like, can you make it a two-peat?
Maybe. Who knows? It'd be a
Well,
very interesting an interesting thing
it
because
will be.
we went into, so when we were like training and getting ready, we were not expecting going on to the chartered type
mhm,
of format. We were ready for the regular, format of like going through the airport and
right.
sleeping on the ground and all of that. So we were prepared. So when we got there and we were like, oh, okay, this is going to be a different beast.
And also knowing that there's no
Yeah, so I'd
U-turns.
be excited to see like
Yeah.
how what it would be like.
I'm just saying is like with no U-turns, our strategy was definitely more, let's just go. And we
Let's
saw
just
it
go.
maybe on the second episode with Derek and Chalisa. We were like, we're too close to
Maybe next
first,
time.
maybe next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end, like we developed these relationships, and like then you see us working with Evan and Melissa, and
Yeah.
like talking a little bit more with Danny and Angie and little things like that maybe with a season that we know that
season, it could have played it a little differently.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about, what could possibly get you on this winter season in the first place, which is, of course, your victory. I mean, the thing that myself and certainly a lot of fans were probably thinking throughout this finale is like, never in doubt, especially because, you're in this final leg, you're in Philadelphia, and really, once you go through that first roadblock, once again, for the umpteenth time, you just take the lead and you never look back. But I know you guys always had this mentality of like, never being cocky, always thinking that something might happen. And you just had, quote unquote, your worst finish in the previous leg. So talk me through your mentality in that final leg. How tough was it to balance, like, okay, I think we're doing really well and we might win $1 million, but who knows on The Amazing Race?
so what
we knew. So they showed a really cool clip of us like walking to the plane, and Phil was like, we're going to the city of brotherly love. We didn't know until that moment. So when he announced like the city of brotherly love, like that reaction was so genuine for me. I grew up in Philadelphia. I lived there before moving to New York City. So like when I said I lived 10 blocks from the art museum, I lived 10 blocks from the art museum. I know that area. So when we found that out, I was like, okay, this is great. However, people who run in their home city,
that happens,
are notorious for not doing well. So
the only place that we didn't ask for directions was for the stadium. Everything else we stopped.
Yes, we made it a point. We made it a point. I said, even if I know where it is, we're stopping to verify for directions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was
the only place we didn't was for the stadium, because I knew exactly where the entrance for the highway was. I knew.
And chatting with Rod and Leticia, they were like, we are not gonna like lose you out of sight. So they follow us all the way there.
Followed us the whole way.
I mean, it worked out perfect for them.
Which was smart.
And just going back to our mentality, it sounds ridiculous. Like we never, like at the beginning, we started with the mentality, we just want to have the experience, we want to have fun. We were in orientation week, we're seeing everyone, and like we're like trying to measure up, and we're like whether everyone is like extremely smart, extremely fit, or both together. So with that, we went in with the mentality like trying not to be last. And I think more than like, oh, we're winning all these legs, we were just like, we're not being last, like we're getting more of these and we're just having fun.
But I think stepping into that final leg, like there was a sense of, we had a little bit of confidence at that point. Like we knew we had been doing so well. Like this was it. This was the moment. Like as long as we didn't have a trip up, like I felt confident that we were.
And we have proved to ourselves that if we haven't done it before, we were getting with the mentality of like, we're going to learn it. We're going to get it out of there.
Figure it out. If I could windsurf for 35 minutes and figure it out, then we could figure anything out in Philadelphia.
Well, you talk about like, even if we haven't done it before, we'll figure it out. That didn't come a lot, admittedly, on the race. I mean, I think I was talking with Devon and Melissa last night, and they said they nicknamed you Slumdog Millionaire because it felt like every single challenge, there was something that you could pull from. How surprised were you by that? And how much do you think that contributed to your dominance on the race?
I think it was a little surprising. Like, as we went through, we were like, oh, we did kind of like have experience in this a little bit. But I do think that like there is a sense of like confidence and flexibility for some things. I'd say there was probably like 70% of things that we had background in. So, which really helped. Like,
but for the other part, like I think our jobs come as well handy. Like Ricky's a preschool teacher. Like he had worked from like babies from 3 months to like 5 years old. Like he's on a constant like high stress level. It's different, but like he has to be caring for so many kids. Like kids are trouble sometimes. So like, it's just like, he has to keep an eye. And for me, like I work in a catering company that I work on different places that are sometimes not even kitchens. Sometimes it's an office that we have to set up as a kitchen. So it's like, go with the flow.
Yeah,
like
you have to learn to be flexible. And I think that's where the things that we didn't have experience in, that kind of helped. But we did have a lot of like, oh yeah, we've done this before, or like the welding, or like the dancing and the singing and the makeup, and like there were a lot of things that was like, oh, this really like aligned with our strengths, and it helped.
And an extra thing I think is key for us is patience. Like working with kids, Ricky's extremely patient, and I just
with kids, I'm very patient with kids. Not so much adults all the time, but with kids, I am.
So I'm sure you have been told this before, but, going to The Amazing Race by the numbers, you two, first off, are the second team in Amazing Race history to never finish below third place with Christy and Jen, but you officially have the highest average rated finish of any team in US Amazing Race history. Talk
Whoa.
to me about that because, again, to your point, I'm sure it's not something you were necessarily expecting. So, how does it feel, especially Cesar, you as a longtime fan, to be like compared to some of the most dominant teams in Amazing Race history, and now having yourself up alongside them, if not surpassing them?
It's unbelievable. And even like this morning, we're going through pictures like that we have with Phil. Like Phil took those selfies, like we were posting on our Instagram, and it's just like seeing it is like it still doesn't feel
It
real.
feels very dreamlike. And like we didn't go in thinking that we were going to dominate like this. And then just to go and just perform well and have a good time and just be good competitors, like it wasn't on our radar. So it
We
was
were
kind of
not thinking
shocking
about
to
that.
us. And it feels really good.
But
And
as a
like all
super
of our
fan,
hard work and like the stress that we went through, like
Yeah.
it paid off. And it's, I don't know.
I mean, for me as a
He-
super fan, it's just like, wow, like
Yes.
really we did that? Like it's like
I
we're
will
there.
say that
like-
like I would never, will never, and could never run the race without him. Like
Like what
there's no way I wouldn't because he knows the race, he knows me, and
But also we
There-
have to
there's
balance
just-
like Ricky's like just like everything that he has, like I might not like, and it just it
Yeah.
was well balanced. Like
it worked. Everything
he's
was
so confident
aligned.
driving. He's like, and you see it as well, like, or maybe one of our biggest mistake on picking a roadblock was who has a better sense of direction. I'm the navigator. He ended up doing it because I was panicking about driving because he's a better
Yeah,
driver.
I thought I was
And then-
driving that race car.
Yeah, but just in average, like seeing like through the race and like being like, oh, we're close to Eric and Jeremy, like we're almost there, and like it's just unbelievable. As a super fan, I think we just like tick so many boxes that we would not believe, and just like we're still in disbelief
Yeah.
until this morning. We're just like processing everything. We're trying to watch again the episode and like really get to enjoy it, soak it all in,
Yeah.
and just
It's
be-
been incredible.
yeah,
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
awesome,
Yeah,
and
I'd
unbelievable.
say like he is mostly the reason why we did so well. I'm
Oh.
telling you, like the
I-
navigator.
He's not giving
we-
enough credit.
we-
We
yeah.
were a great team. We just were a
That's
great
true.
team,
We were a
and
great
like it just seeing us there is like, what's happening? Really, that's us, and I think
Well,
that was awesome.
On that note, I mean, the last thing I want to ask is obviously you had been together for some time before coming onto the race, but I imagine being in such a pressurized environment, so close together, you learned a lot about each other. Give me the biggest thing you learned about the other person racing around the world together. Ricky, we'll start with you.
I learned that, oh God, you're gonna I learned like that I said it in one of the episodes, like I always trusted him, but I knew that like without a doubt now that I can trust him like with anything. Like in a stressful situation, in a joyous situation, like he's always going to be there for me no matter what. And the race really just like solidified. I was worried, that with so much stress that like the cracks were going to happen and that like the stress of everything was going to like pull the negative. Like we had never been in these situations before. And I was nervous and it didn't happen. And what like an awesome thing that happened. And it just solidified a lot of things, and just knowing that the trust was there and it was unwavered, which it was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Cesar, it's all
As for
you.
me, I mean, pre-season interviews, I keep saying like they were like, what are the three things that you bring to the race to win? And I'm like, I have the perfect partner. And Ricky keeps saying like, yeah, but I'm not perfect. And I'm like, I'm not saying that you're a perfect person. You're the perfect partner. So like, I think I got that outcome out of this season, out of seeing us there, out of seeing us working together. I do think, and now I can say it surely, I have the perfect partner, and just a partner in life. So like that is the outcome that I'm taking out of this whole thing.
Oh, now you're gonna make me cry. My God. I mean, like, I think it just speaks to the fact that, even the bedrock, I would say, of just this incredibly dominant run was your love for each other. And I know it was far from an easy situation, and we have seen so many relationships in the Amazing Race be pushed to their limits and beyond in such a pressurized situation. But to see the two of you react to each other, help support each other in the stress to the point where, you're cracking into Ricky for checking his hair on the way to the finish line. Like, I think we got such a nice perspective into how much you truly care for each other and work together, even though it's in such a different scenario. And it makes me so happy to get to know you, because you both seem like just truly incredible people, and to watch incredible people do incredible things and win an incredible amount of money, it brings me so much joy. And I'm sure I am, paling in comparison to the joy that you're feeling right now, but I just wanted to express that to you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so
And we
much.
just wanted to give you a shout out on your commitment to your customs through the season recaps. You are awesome. We love
Yes,
watching
your
you.
enthusiasm
And like this,
is amazing.
Oh, I mean, listen,
Thank you.
I thought, especially after knowing Ricky's experience in musical theater and drag, I'm like, he of all people, I think would appreciate that
Yes,
commitment.
yes, brilliant.
So, thank you both. I absolutely adore getting the chance to talk with you, especially today, in the bask of your win. And again, I'm so excited to see what happens next with the two of you, whether it be, or turn on another season, starting a family, what have you. I'm so pumped to see what happens next. And thank you again for taking the time to talk with me today.
Thank you so much,
Mike.
Frank. This
Of
was
course.
been awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
the
Thank
best
you.
to you and yours. Have a great one, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You too.
You
Have a
too.
good one.
Bye.